Why don't you take us through the story? What can we expect while watching Felix? I know it released last year, but with all this attention, I think a lot of people are going to want to see it again.
Yes. Well, you can get the video. It's in video stores. You can buy it or you can rent it. Felix is a coming-of-age story, and it's around music, particularly Cape jazz. And it's about a young guy who wants to be a jazz musician like his late father, who he hasn't really known about, because the mother was angry at the father drinking too much, enjoying too much of the good life, and leaving her to bring up these 3 young children. So she's kind of like cut him out of her life and buried him and all his stuff in a suitcase. And the kids discover the suitcase. And Liani, you know, at one point the mother says to him, "You're going to have to choose between me and your father," which is because she feels so bitter about the father. And Liani makes a choice to follow his dream, to be in the school concert. He has to learn to play the sax in a very short space of time, but he gets selected for the school concert, and he goes. And his mother refuses to join the concert and see him play, but he goes anyway. And actually, because he holds on to his dream, he brings the mother along with him. And the mother then is released of all the bitterness that she held in her heart about the father that died and left her with these kids. So in a way, it shows how children can also do a lot for their parents. Children can teach and guide their parents. It's not always the other way around. And yeah, and Liani is just very determined. And it's interesting because Liani himself did not play the saxophone.
Well, that was my next question. Liani, you don't play the saxophone?
Yeah, no, I don't. I can actually play it now a bit, but not as good as the film.
Did you learn to play it for the film, or how did that work?
Yeah, it was before the film. I had to learn how to play it before the film, and yeah, I was very happy to actually learn the saxophone because I'm a jazz fan, so I think it's very cool to actually learn how to play the saxophone. So yeah, that's cool.
Really cool. How long did it take you to learn, or how long were you practicing before filming started?
It actually took it was actually 2 months, but not in terms of counting days. It was about 2 weeks, because every week it was about 9 days, because every week I'd have to learn 3 days in a week for a month, I think. So it was not much. It was not much.
Yeah, he learned very, very quickly, and because he's basically very musical. Liani is very musical. I suspect that in the future he will maybe have a lot to do with music, because he's naturally musical.
I'm actually working on something now, so I hope it's gonna be big. My dad's actually helping me with all this, and because I'm working with my dad on his agency and everything. So using that, I'm actually kind of coming up with this music type of thing in a few months.